What is going on, guys, and welcome to Dota Chronicles. Today we're going to be talking about Lone Druid in the new patch 7.33. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. So I decided to pick this hero into pretty much any game that I would get into, but I did see that they had a mid Kunkka, so it was a definite easy pick for me to play the Lone Druid, as he's a melee hero, and I definitely dumpster practically every melee hero in the game, especially from the mid lane. This hero is so survivable, so tanky. I really don't understand very well why his win rate is so low. Even picked into really good Lone Druid games, people are still losing them. I don't understand too well. Like, a hero like Doom is so prevalent in the meta. Lone Druid counters Doom. As long as you get your ultimate off, which is quite easy to do because Doom's animation is very long for casting Doom, it's not really that big of a problem. You're just gonna lifesteal off the bear, and there's really not much Doom can do to you. Now, in the ultra late game, when Doom is 6 slotted, it does become very difficult for the bear, as usually that's when carries by Scotty and Shiva's Guard and these types of items that the Lone Druid doesn't handle very well. Overall, if you can end the game between 25 and 35 minutes, you're good. Doom is not 6 slotted by that time, unless he's like getting a shit ton of kills and unstoppable, but you are not the only player on your team. This hero felt incredibly amazing. The split push potential is always there. You get your Aghanim Scepter and you can just rat them forever. And this game is not an easy Lone Druid by any means. They have a Phantom Lancer, they have a Caudle, they have a Kunkka, Magnus, and Doom. So overall, I do very well against the Kunkka. I don't really care about him too much. His spells don't really do anything to me, but Caudle can become a problem in the late game because usually Caudles like to buy items like Hex, Force Staff, and he's very speedy, and Lone Druid is speedy on his own. The bear is quite speedy, but half the time you are not fast enough to catch the Caudle, and the Illuminate spam plus the slows and Blinding Light can become very annoying for the bear. So definitely BKB might be required, and the wreck game is still there if you get your Aghanim Scepter and your Desolator. But I feel like this hero kind of dropped a little bit because people are fighting so often, and if you don't have your ultimate, it kind of feels really bad to fight on Lone Druid because your main Druid is kind of squishy without the ultimate. That is why you have it. And if you don't have it, you can also take the talent, but the talent doesn't come in until level 20, so you have quite a big window where the Lone Druid can't really fight consistently, but he can still be pushing down towers and taking objectives on his own because that's what the hero does. Like I was mentioning, I think one of the reasons this hero stopped being picked so much is because PL is such a big player in the meta right now, and Lone Druid really doesn't do that much against Phantom Lancer. In the early game, sure, because you're going to have a lot more farm than him because you are playing him mid. You're going to be having a lot more XP and farm over the Phantom Lancer, but in the late game, you are a little bit screwed. Even if you go Maelstrom, you can go Radiance as well. I just don't think it is strong enough to fight in the late game. I ended up winning this game, but it was through a very painful rat process because this PL was quite the good player, and he managed to recover even though I practically dumpstered them in the early game where I was pretty much 1v4ing the entire time and they weren't killing me. He managed to get his farm, and it became very difficult because my carries were not able to get enough farm, and it was just a mess of a game, but we managed to get the W in the end. So I definitely feel like this hero can definitely be picked a lot of the time as long as you see that there is a melee mid. But if you see heroes like Huskar, Queen of Pain, Necrophos, heroes like that, you definitely don't want to be playing the Lone Druid as you're running into a hard matchup, and this hero really depends on the laning phase going at least even, because if you get dumpstered in the laning phase, you won't be able to make proper rotations, as this hero doesn't really rotate very well. It kind of depends on how weak they are and how fast you can get across the map, because this hero doesn't really care about runes. It doesn't benefit from haste rune, doesn't benefit from an illusion rune. Double damage is fine, but you'd rather use that to pressure the mid lane tower instead of going for a gank that can possibly go south for you. If you lose the bear and it becomes on cooldown where you're not able to resummon, you're basically a freaking creep for the next couple of minutes, and that's when it feels really bad. So you definitely have to play around the resummon. If you just resummoned your bear, get the hell out of there, go farm, unless it's just like a really free fight and you feel like you can resummon and there's absolutely no way for them to kill you, then sure, go ahead and you can make the turnaround play. But if you feel like there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna die and your bear's gonna go on cooldown, get the hell out of there, TP out, and get your bear out because you will be screwed for the next couple of minutes. This hero is still really strong, pushes towers like no other hero in the game, and he benefits a lot from the objectives now, as you can still take Roche quite quickly. There's a lot of camps for you to farm, so you can definitely still play it from the mid lane and not be super greedy, as there's a lot more camps, so there's a lot of places the Lone Druid can farm. but basically your specialty is tower taking, and that's what you can do. You can group up with your team, make sure you guys have some playmaking supports, not some very passive supports like Oracle and such. You need to be playing with stunners so you can benefit much more from the Lone Druid, as those heroes can set up for your bear to root even more. I definitely have been enjoying the Lone Druid. I still don't really know exactly why the win rate has come down. If you guys know why it is so low, definitely let me know. I feel like this hero is still incredibly strong. It's not broken, but it is very strong if you pick it into the right matchups, into the right game. You can still have a lot of fun with this hero. I just feel like you can't blind pick it like before into the first phase or second phase. It definitely still is a last pick hero, kind of like a Meepo. And if you see a Phantom Lancer pick and your lineup doesn't really do very well against that hero, definitely don't recommend playing the Lone Druid, as it's not going to do you much favors unless you're super confident that you will be able to win the early game and push the PL out. And don't let him hit his timings, then you will be absolutely fine. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. A like would be much appreciated, and let me know if you guys have been playing Lone Druid in this new patch. We'll see you guys in the next video.